Hello? Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to the start of another week. Hope you're all keeping well. Hope you had a lovely weekend. I was grand, until today. We did some painting in the kitchen, but all is well in the realm. Hope you're all, you're here, right? Tonight, friends, we embark on a new adventure. This is a ridiculous amount of work. A ridiculous amount of work has gone into this one, but glad you're all here. Glad you're all here, right? And we'll get into the thing. How much? I got loads of paint in me trousers. Look. Yeah, oh God, you're right. But anyway, it's all coming together, slowly but surely. But welcome in. Hope you're keeping well tonight. Well, wait till you hear this. Here's something I didn't write down at all, nor read from a prompter. Every so often, history gives us a figure so vast, so complicated, so brilliant, and so flawed that understanding them isn't a lesson, it's an expedition. For the next 10 weeks, that is exactly what we're about to embark upon, right? Usually, the story is, of the past. It tends to be trapped in dusty old books in a quiet museum, or you could have been in school and you're like, it's nice outside, right? It's static. But the life of Napoleon Bonaparte was anything but static, very much a storm. It was movement. It was a relentless push towards the horizon. So instead of sitting in a classroom reading about revolutions and gunpowder, we're going to climb into the cockpit, fire up the avionics, and actually fly through the world that he shaped. Let's be honest, looking at a map of a battle, that's all well and good, but looking at the terrain as we're airborne from an aircraft, well, that's how you understand all the strategy and the scale of the man's ambition. This is the rise and fall of Napoleon. So, it's kind of like following a ghost, right? Because there's many different accounts of what we can kind of cover here. It's pretty much, we'll start off at the beginning. A boy from a poor island who went on to shake Europe to its very core. A man who rose from total obscurity to command continents. He was feared, adored, hated, and revered, sometimes all at the same time. He's the only man in history who managed to fight half of Europe at once, change his country completely, twice, escaped from exile, came back and did it all over again, and still found time to invent the modern legal system that we all use today. Essentially, he was the ultimate workaholic. He makes Elon Musk look like a part-timer, professional dog walker. So over the next 10 weeks, we combine the narrative of documentary with the immersion of Microsoft Flight Sim. It's a tremendous way of bridging the connection between what we have in our hobby and also a lot of scenery. Each week, we're going to visit a new region, a place where Napoleon touched, shaped, conquered, or was conquered by. We'll see the mountains he crossed, the cities he burned, and the oceans he eventually imprisoned him. And we're not just taking any old machine. No, each and every week we're going to have a specialized aircraft. No, there's no refunds. Each week we'll pick a specialized aircraft specifically for the task. Today, for example, we're here in Corsica. We're going to be using an awesome aircraft by Flying Fries. This one is the Gabriel BK160-TR. It's agile, scrappy, perfect for the young rebel that was Napoleon at the time. For the school days, we'll change things up. Episode 2, we're going to be flying in the Coronado, reliable and disciplined. For Toulon, the Miltech A1 Sky Raider, a brand new release, very much a war machine, heavy, loud, and capable of delivering a punch. As we get to Italy, it's over to the Inibil's F406 Caravan 2. For Egypt, we're going to be using the COWS DA40NG. In Paris, it's going to be a heli tour. We're going to be using the Councin H125. You don't just kind of, walk around. Not at all. We will be visiting Paris when Napoleon was emperor, looking down upon the peasants, you see. When we get to Spain, it's going to be over to the TBM. Fast, very fast. The reason being is, well, at that time in Spain, if you stayed still, you were in for it. For Russia, we're going to go with the Black Square Beechcraft Starship, a design that was miles ahead of its time, ambitious, and perhaps a little bit too complicated, just like the invasion itself. Once we get into Belgium, the Battle of Waterloo, we're going to jump into the Gotfriends, the Aeropract A32 Vixen, small and little machine to get us around. And finally, when we get to St. Helena, the first time I've ever used one, I still don't know how to fly it yet, but it's going to be the Airship Industries Skyship, a blimp, sort of. Right? Does anyone know how to use this yet? No? So, as I said, each episode we're going to cover as much as we can. There's so much when it comes to Napoleon. Like, I mean, we've 10 episodes. This could have easily ran to like 20 or even 30. But we'll take it easy. Tonight we'll start where the legend begins. It's an island of mountains, rebels, and fierce independence. The birthplace of a boy who would change destiny itself. Corsica. Welcome to the rise and fall of Napoleon. Right! Now, doesn't that set the scene? Anyway, Muse fan pressed the button there. He's pretty good, isn't he? And meanwhile, Gibbo has probably fallen off the couch. Or even worse, he's probably gone out for a walk. Brilliant. But anyway, hope you're keeping well. Let's jump into the chat. Who's here this Monday? Tarnish Mossman, you're very welcome aboard. Vacuum is in the house. Fierce Wolf, looking fierce and wolfy. Welcome in, buddy. Toto2495 is here. Welcome in, Toto. Hope you're well. Robert J56 is here. Spitfire RAF 100 is in the chat. Good to see you, man. Super Typhon, happy Monday. Eamon 1973. Asher, how are you, Eamon? How are you getting on? Retriever Neil is here. Happy Monday. Liptorius, good to see you. Blinky is here, as is Mac Vision. Airlock Doc says, evening, peoples. So tonight we follow a short man with bad hair. Also, Napoleon. It started early, Jesus. APU Inspector, happy Monday. Mrs. Ups Down, TPHI, has entered the chat. Happy Monday to you. Viper Strike is here. Welcome aboard. Commander Balosh, hope you are well. Ozymandias is here. Airlock says, me wife heard the intro music and called out, it's Murphy. Shout out to Mrs. Airlock, please. Hello, Mrs. Airlock. Your husband is terribly nice. I'm not saying this under duress at all. Right? Hope you're keeping well. Ozymandias, you're looking well, buddy. North Coast Mike, good to see you. Bell Bro is in the house. Welcome in, Bell Bro. Sir Mac Napoleon. Yeah, so Nighthawk kind of threw the train off the rails there. He said there was an Irish report in the Irish Times back in 1999. Or was it the Irish Independent? Anyway, research has found in an old book, right, that Napoleon's grandfather was actually out of Scotland. I mean, that changes the narrative completely, but, you know, it was rumoured. I don't think they were able to prove it. But very interesting, you know. But listen, just to, you know, spoiler alert, Napoleon, France, Corsica, invented by the Irish lads. I'm just saying, we'll get it out there at the very beginning. All invented by the Irish. Moving on, don't put that as your test answer. There will be a test. Sumner is here. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Flyer10's in the house. Lenny Bobbins, it's yourself. Sir Campsalot, my dude. Happy Monday. Hope you're well. Now, let me see. Malky Mac is here. Retriever Neil, thank you for 3 in a row. Creo, hello to everyone in County Mayo. Hope you're well. Stick Figure is here. Norse Viking Gaming, very good afternoon. Soaring AJ. AJH, man, welcome aboard. Where's this now? Tamar for the aircraft. Oh, did you get a tarnish? Brilliant. Apache, thank you indeed for 30 in a row. Very good evening to you. Cracker is here. Good evening. And Tintin. Yeah, right. Second cousin, twice removed. PH Roy with a tier 2 for 20 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, Roy. Hope you're well. Nighthawk is in the house. Hermit something, good afternoon to Boston. Hope you're well, Hermit. And Lear86 is in the house. Strap21, hola. Old veteran 965. He says, and so it starts. This activates the Gibbo shield. He's probably sitting at home. Shields up. Red alert. Right. Good to see you, Scott. Hope you're well. McManser is here. Tima, bonsoir. Ryan is in the house. Out here in the suburbs is... Out there in the suburbs. Good to see you. Idle Cutoff. Hi, Murph. Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. Hope you're well. Where's this now? Photos by Kev. Good evening to one and all, and to those with small hands. I have a very small violin.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Yeah, good to see you, Kev. Yeah, great, grand, you know. Gar Gaming, hope all is well in Galway. And you're very welcome in. Mutley is here. Scott says, speaking of France, just finished the mini-series here on the American Revolution and saw the interaction with the French during the conflict and then what happened in France not long after. Oh yeah, like the world at this time. And it's not just tied to Europe, it was the world at this time. Very interesting time period in history. So we'll learn a bit about it, you know. Where's this now? TG Sims, good to see you. It sounds like an interesting series. I visited Napoleon's tomb in Paris last week. Ooh, nice. good stuff out of that. Sunjammer, good evening. Hope you're well. Who else come in now? Reached his own Waterloo, right? How much paint did you get on the floor and yourself? I got more than myself. Right. But yeah, my dad was painting. Hang on, let's correct things. My dad was painting and I went in, to give a bit of help, bit of roller action, in which then I got paint everywhere. That's what I do, though. If you do something and you're doing it wrong, right? Usually what happens is, they put an arm on your shoulder or a pat on the back and say, it's all right. You go off and do the other thing. See? So you're not kind of saying no to things. It's the best way to get out of things. I'm telling you. That's rule number 74 in the I don't do manual labour manual. It's very handy, Remember that one now. It's very important. Stu Snape is here. Good evening. Did Napoleon have small hands as well? What's this rumour? You've seen me hands, right? Mrs. TPHI says, I don't know what I feel like flying today. Yeah, anything really. I mean, the cruise speed of this aircraft, about 120, 130. It's a beautiful little airplane. And I haven't flown this since we did our ATC series for the US. So looking forward to it. In a Box Man is here. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Murph got excited with the... Wait, what? I nearly read that out. History lessons with Murph. Oh, right. Just remember, lads... The Irish invented everything. Crotty is here. Good to see you. Are you going to be discussing how Richard Sharp helped beat Napoleon? Sean Bean. He was everywhere, wasn't he? Where is this now? No one bark. We will just bark at the moon, right? Jimbo Stream, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. 45 in a row with Swap. Thank you, Strap, for 45 in a row. You absolute ledge. Cheers, buddy. Where's this now? Mr. Dan is here. Good to see you. Time to see if I can bind helicopter controls quicker than the intro. Yeah, my intros only last about 2 minutes. CP65, good day to you, sir. Hope you're well. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, welcome aboard. Krabby One is here. Super Ty says, at least Musk isn't an emperor in the making. Isn't he? Vote Borat. Isn't nice? I like. Right, anyway, we're over here. David Bay, a very good evening to you. Hope you're well. 98 Vulcan is in the house. 98 Vulcan, welcome in. He says, Murph, hello from a sunny sail in Victoria, home of the Royal Australian Air Force Roulette's PC-21 display team. Driving at 900 kilometres all the way home to Gosford. Jesus. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Crafty Tigers, hello. Daddy Plump, hello. Muse fan, burst in the door. Tier 3 for 56 months. Jesus, Muse. 56 of them. Thank you very, very much indeed, my guy. Hope you're well. Gibbo's here. I hate you right now. Listen, you had an issue with the Romans. You had an issue with Hannibal and the Romans. Then you had an issue with, the Gallic Wars. And the Romans. Tonight, we're not going near the Romans. Well, that's a blatant lie. How Napoleon kind of studied the Romans, but that's not important right now. But Gibbo, it's good to see you, buddy. Corn Wolf, welcome in. LG Dan is here, welcome aboard. Wills is in the house, good to see you, Wills. Canoe Head 2, paddling by AJH. Welcome aboard. Kozaki Flyers in the house. Good to see you, man. Where's this now? If you can drive your dad's boat, you can drive a blimp. Jeez, I couldn't tell you. Muse, he says, guess what? Before Murph says anything, I was wrong today for the first time in my life. Hang on a second. Whoa now. Muse fan tried to do the typical political football mess in this an election year. Muse fan made a statement believing he was correct, and it was brought to his attention that he was full of and he made a complete and utter out of himself. Now, friends, he's coming here to tell us before we unleash the fury and say, Muse, for punishment of being so woefully wrong, you must now go and watch all 3 movies of The Lord of the Rings. Only that will give you some sort of, fix the situation. First time ever he says he was wrong, right? Are you sure? Surely that can't be true. The Irish invented Napoleon. They did. The Scots do get about, just like the Irish. Yeah, but sure, listen, you know, it'd be grand. Where are we at now? Dougal McTavish, the chairman, has rambled aboard. Good to see you. The Irish invented the invention. Balut. I mean, you know the story. Zybok Doc calling from Denmark. Hello from Tipperary. Hope you're well. Balut, thank you indeed for your 51 months of a Prime subscription. Very kind of you, sir. Hope you're well. One Fly Air is here. Good evening. Energizer. He says, I made it. Make sure to get coffee, the extra caffeinated coffee. Yes, there's a bit of learning to do, Energizer. There's a test and everything. When you see it. Which time or weather? We'll go through all that now in a moment. QC Frank is here. Good to see you. He says, I have a book you would love about recorded diaries of some of Napoleon's general during the campaign of 1814. Ooh, nice. Yeah, 100%. Where's this now? I heard 150. Wait, what? Seeing your hands was meant to be a private moment between us. Jesus, too. David Bay says, at Waterloo, Napoleon did surrender. Wait, your sister's an ABBA fan. My Waterloo. Oh, very good. Oh, but at the same time, you know, the Gabriel is on sale. It is Commander Bolosh. We'll check it out here in a moment. Even the T-Rex had bigger hands than you, with mittens. The Aviator is here. Good to see you. Bio Games, good to see you. 100% Sharp team tune. Do you remember watching Sharp, do you? Where is this now? I've changed my D10 on good man. Heisenberg is here. We can't get a word in, edgeways. Told my wife, enemies are many, I have no equals. She told me I was never very good at math. Math. We call it maths. 2-minute intro. Yeah. Abdul is in the house. Good to see you. AD Kestrel, welcome aboard. Hope you're well. Who else come in the door here now? Scott says, Murph, I think the tie-in for Gibbo is history.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Probably. But it's grand, right? It's grand. Right, we're over here now. Look, it's all come together. Two cats, good to see you. Murph does not have small hands. It's just the rest of him that's big. Jesus. Like, they're very, very calm, warming, complimentary audience we have this evening. You're all very... Right, I'll get my revenge. Let me see. Bubbles is in the house. Good to see you. Boeing 5 is here. Welcome aboard. The Limbics. Top of the morning. Hope you're well, buddy. No, there's no refund. You can check off the refunds. Visualize. Happy Monday. Dave Cleary. Legend Dave. Welcome back, Dave. Good to see you, buddy. Northland Air. Hope you're well, man. Let me see now. Derfras is here. Good to see you. Joe Mack is in the house. Joseph Jolly is here. Kubi Montana. Welcome aboard. Angels 15. Happy Monday. Now, let me see. Bearded Aviator's in the house. He goes, first time catching the intro. Well, thank you very much. Yes, we had loads of fun with the e-stall, didn't we? Mav Wings. Welcome in. You're on your way back in. We'll have a minute. Firebird, a very good evening. He says hello from Nashville. Hello from Tipperary. Hope you're well. Let me see now. Johnny Mon is in the house. Good to see you, Johnny. Mr. Conpolo is here. Greetings from Catherine and Marco. Guten Abend. Hope you're well. Zappel is in the house. Uniform Goose. Good day, Goose. Hope you're well. Shane McHale. Good to see you, Shane. Mud Dog is here. Black Sheep Jean. He says, Napoleon was almost as fun to stalk as you were. Yes. Right. Flying Diggs. Good to see you, Diggs. Mav says, I'm up and running and hoping to have another sim crash. Brilliant. We're all rooting for you. Right, yes, get in there now. Right, will we get started? Mr. Minimite, good to see you, buddy. Right, now, all these folks in the door and no one closed the gates. I'm telling you, the parlour's full. Right, come on over here, look. Does your yolks make them sounds as well? Right, friends, so you join us here on the island of Corsica. And we've kind of two parts... Oh, I'm at there bashing me thumb. Oh, the pain. We've kind of two parts to all of this. We have the historical context, as we're going to learn about Napoleon, and we also have the aviation part of it, where today we are flying in a stunning aircraft. This aircraft, it's from a Italian manufacturer in the real world, but it's put together for us in the sim by Flying Fries, right? And it is that of the Gabriel. The company who makes them are called Black Shape, and they're a relatively new aircraft, or a modern general aviation training aircraft. It kind of has the look of kind of a sporty, almost military style, but looks are very deceiving in this case. This is a very stable, moderately slow aircraft. You'd expect cruising speeds of between 120 to 150 knots tops. with this engine, this is the Lycoming engine, so we can only expect a maximum altitude of about 11,500 feet, and we have kind of a decent operational range of about depending on the aircraft. Hang on, I need to read me notes. The range of this gadget should, give or take, where is this now? Where's the range? Says you how much fuel do you have in it? Jeez, we had it there now. Where was the range? Cruise speed, yes. Ceiling, grand. Load factor, no, that's grand. I was trying to get the range of this. We'll have to find out over here, look. The Gabriel BK160-TR, a modern general aviation aircraft powered by the Lycoming IO320 engine with 160 horsepower, 400 nautical miles. 400 nautical miles. We would expect with this engine, a cruising speed of about 150 knots. We'll probably do about 130, 140, give or take, right? So it's a great machine. He always hit one of them. Wait, Napoleon. Right. But anyway, this is a fantastic aircraft. Now, get this, right? We used this for our ATC series a little bit earlier on this year, doing the FAA stuff flying in the US. It's a very capable aircraft because it has modern avionics. This is currently on sale. You could pick up this aircraft for as little as €12.70. It's a steal because it's actually a great aircraft, and there's other variants of it in the real world, but it's a beauty. Doesn't it look like something, it's almost military looking, and it's an exceptional aircraft for flight training. Exceptional. Retractable landing gear, of course. The Lycoming engine, fairly straightforward. In the real world, you have an option of the Lycoming, or indeed you can get a Rotax in there. But it's a very beautiful aeroplane, and also the visibility out of the canopy. It's so unrestricted. This thing is incredible. For VFR flying, but also VR as well. It's just brilliant, right? Absolutely brilliant. There's always someone in an A400. There always is. So we're going to bring up Navigraph, have a quick look at what we're doing. Currently on the ground here at Ajaccio. That's how we pronounce it, friends. Ajaccio, which is actually called Napoleon Bonaparte Ajaccio Airport, right? Lima, Foxtrot, Kilo, Juliet, and exclamation point route will give you the route. As Sky Command has entered the chat with an open shirt. He says, who remembers Murph before he became a world-class supermodel? Seemingly I'm a hand model. Sky Command, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well.
Allow myself to introduce
myself. Let me see. Apex and Altitude, good to see you. What is your opinion of the Cessna Caravan 208? The 208 Caravan, the Grand Caravan, it's excellent. There is another one in development from Black Square, probably going to release in the new year, and that's going to be their professional series. So if you do like the Caravan, I like the Caravan. I jumped out of a Caravan, a real Caravan. The aeroplane, that is. They're incredible aircraft. One of Cessna's best. It's a proper workhorse. So yeah, they're very, very good. Very, very good. But anyway, our flight plan today, a couple of relatively short legs, right? We're going to be heading in a anti-clockwise rotation around the island of Corsica. So our first stop is only 30 miles away. Next stop 30 after that. A 25, a 36, a 31, and then a 36 at the end of it. Total flight time tonight, probably an hour and 40, give or take, and that's how it's looking. In terms of time and weather, real world weather is kind of crap and appalling. We won't see much on the ground if we turn it on, give you an idea. Right, so I'm just going to horse it onto a few clouds and keep the wind speed nice and calm at about 4 knots. Nice and easy. Time of day, as you can see it's set to 12:20 local. And the idea behind that is, it means, well, we can see the ground because we want to be looking at some of the sites here as we fly over them. All right. So with that said and done, we're going to hop into the aircraft, get it up and running, and plan for our departure. And we'll continue with our Napoleon story once we get airborne. I've quite a bit to go through tonight. So yeah, any questions, just let me know. And well, hopefully we'll have the crack. Do you know? But anyway, here we are in this beautiful machine. We'll go ahead and bring up our tablet. And let's just double check that we have sufficient fuel on board. Left is good. Right, we're okay. So we've 83%, 14. We've 28 gallons in total. We're quite okay. We've like 300 nautical miles. Let me see here now. So seating is good. Options. So we're going to remove the chock should be gone. Stairs gone. Engine hood, shield, and engine shield. Let's just double check that these are all showing off that beautiful Lycoming engine. Isn't that cool? Look at the features of this airplane, lads. And you can get it for under €13 right now. It's incredible, right? So let's see what happens. Let me see. Cootie says, Murph, I drove some of the rally stages some years ago back in your Golf. It wasn't fun. It was scary as hell. Yes, I could imagine. Right, so we're going to get these closed up. And we can probably close this guy now. There she be. So with the Gabriel, I haven't flown this in quite some while. Go ahead and get that canopy down. There it is, closed and locked into position. That's what we want. And we'll have a quick look here now at our battery. Before we fire up the battery, going to make sure landing gear is in the down position. Engine controls are all off. And there's no externals with lights. All our breakers are in the down position. Nothing sticking up there to upset us. Our emergency location transponder or transceiver? Transponder is turned off. That's what we want. So let me see here now. We have some mags and batteries. So we've got battery turned on. And that's going to put some electricity into the machine. We can go ahead and fire at the avionics on the ground. Fuel selector is on the center tank. We'll keep her there. Lights, we're going to put on our nav and anti-collision lights. Pitot heat, leave it off for the moment. Alternative static port, we'll leave it closed. Don't need that for the minute. An emergency electrical bus, we'll keep that on standby. Mags 1 and 2 coming on. You have redundancy there, so you have 2 magnetos on the engine. Mixture goes to rich. Prop will go to full. Flap indicator is up. We have climate control inside the aircraft as well. And we also have different colours for our map light, which is nice. Red or green, or indeed white. Moving across our main panel here now, we can check a couple of things. We have our master caution and warning lights. Go ahead and turn those off. We have our displays. We're just going to wait for the computer here to hopefully warm up. What else do we need here now? So we have our stall warning test. Annunciator panel. All our lights are on. Lovely stuff. Fuel select switch is working. Turn it off. Red light should turn out, or turn off rather. There she goes. Lovely stuff. What else do we need here now? Moving along, we have our cockpit lighting. Nighttime, yes, put them on because it just looks nice. And then we have our displays. We do have an autopilot with the aircraft heading and altitude. We'll set that once we get the aircraft up and running, and we'll also put in our flight plan. So we're going to go for a start on the aircraft. So we have a starter and auxiliary pump. So we'll go over here to the right hand side. Here's a starter. And let me see, the auxiliary pump, I think it's all built into together. I think. Sure, we'll find out now together. It's been a while since I've flown this. Let me see here now. This is more like an annunciator panel up here. It's kind of showing you what the story is, what systems are working. And it's very much on a lights on or lights out setup, right? And also, if you're so inclined, you can operate this aircraft from the rear seat as well. Very handy, right? So the aux pump is on the left of the panel. Aux pump left of panel. Aux pump here. Man yourself. So auxiliary pump is on. We can hear it on the audio. We're now going to engage the starter. So we should say clear prop in our little storm vent here. And we'll go for a start and let's see what happens. And we have a start. RPM is stabilizing. About 900 or so. Alternator kicking on. And we can see that the canopy is given out, pitot heat is given out, and also our parking brake is on. So we're going to lock the canopy. Canopy light is out. Pitot heat, we can go ahead and bring this on if we need it. It's only advisory. And what else do we have here? We have our taxi lights and landing lights then as well. They're all tied in to the landing gear. All right. So when you're starting this airplane from the POH, they don't usually lock the canopy in case there's an issue they need to get out. Seemingly. But I've read 2 cases of the POH, so your guess is going to be as good as mine. Right, what else do we have here? We're going to activate our little panel here. That's our comm nav. And, well, from the rest of it, lads, we can actually go in and start planning our flight plan, which would be the handiest thing to do. So let me have a look here. We'll go back and we shall go heading nav, VNav. We'll want all of that. We have a nice little G5 unit in here as well. And let me see here now. So traffic, that's okay. Main menu, that's okay. Sim brief, flight log, flight controls, transponder, setup, I wonder. Date, time, Navigraph, PFD, sound trim. How do we do... That's a direct to. Waypoint flight plan is blanked out. Why is that now? Okay, we'll just do a direct to our first stop. It's going to be LFKF. Let me see. Go back here, Murph. LFKF. And let's see. LFKF. Figure that looks correct. We'll okay that. Yes, that looks where it's supposed to be. So we'll do our first direct to there. Also go ahead and set some altitude on the aircraft. We're going to set an initial 3,000 feet and we'll worry about it there after. So there's 3,000 coming in and that looks good to me. Reset our barrow and I think we're going to be good to go. From a transponder perspective, where do we do this now? It's in here, I'd say. Com mic function, display brightness, com spacing, software version, no. Com nav, they're radios, so if we go into here, we'll come up here. Ah, there it is. So go back to, back again. Flight plan, there it is. There, it was hiding in there, look. So let me see, add a waypoint to do the next one then. It's going to be LFKS, LFKS. Yes. After LFKS, it's going to be LFKT, LFKT. After LFKT, LFKB, LFKB. Nice. Lost our map, but that's okay. After LFKB, it's across the road to LFKC, LFKC. And then our final stop is going to be back at our destination at our departure, which is LFKJ. LFKJ. Campo del Oro. Well, it should be Ajaccio, but let's go for it. Right, so that looks good to me. Transponder, can't fix it from here, so we'll have to fix that some other way. We'll go back. And let's see here now. Nav, com. Shouldn't we have an option there for like setting up our nav? Let's see. Com1, Com2, transponder. Here we go. Code 7000. We're VF4. We're going to turn it to on, hit enter and back. And that looks good to me. Right, friends. Are we ready? Sander, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Okay, so we're going to come off the brakes. Brakes off. Small bit of power. Bit of power here. As we look around, we have an absolute ton of aircraft with us today, lads. Fantastic. Now, what I also want to do, Join FS will have running as well if you're on other networks, if you're on Flight Sim 2020, for example, or maybe even an X-Plane. And we also have Say Intentions running with our group code of TTM. That's how you'll be able to fly with us if you're on a different simulator. Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, X-Plane, P3D, it doesn't matter. It'll work off them all. So as we taxi forward here, have a quick look left and right. Winds are relatively calm. We don't need a full runway here, so we'll actually do, as they call it, an old intersection departure. Have a quick look at Navigraph here as we zoom in. So we're going to be turning to the left, so it's runway 20 for our departure. And we get ourselves airborne, and we shall see what happens. Mr. TBHI, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Come on down here, go landing lights. And we'll get ourselves lined up. So as we were saying, we're going to climb up to about 3,000 feet. We're just going to stay around the area for the moment, Ajaccio, and then we'll start on our merry way. So we're going to hold the brakes. We will go for a notch of flaps as we're sitting. Transponder is on. Let me see. No warning. Jesus, there's a plane. Literally after stopping it. You wouldn't want to share the bed with them. Drive it on, will you? Jesus. Let me see. We're looking good there. Looking good there. All right, friends. It's time to fly. Are we ready? Power coming in. Watch the manifold pressure. Here she be. Alright, that's our takeoff power set. Airspeed very much alive. We're going to be rotating here at about 75. Oopsie daisy. Ooh, that was sporty. Positive rate of climb. Gear coming in. And you'll see how docile this aircraft is. It's relatively calm. Like here we are 90 knots climbing out. Go ahead, put the flaps in. Easy now. Keep an eye on that RPM. We don't want to go too heavy with it. And it's just a nice little climb out here. Corsica is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? It's gorgeous. So we're going to gain a little bit of altitude. It's going to be a left-hand turn just to pick up everyone with us. Now what we can do with our autopilot, we're going to go heading. So we're going to go autopilot on. We're going to go heading mode. We're going to go V-speed, and we want to climb. We want to get up to 3,000 feet. And we're going to select IAS mode now. So that's going to maintain our speed of about 122 knots. We don't need to worry about it anymore. Should have a yaw dampener. Yaw dampener's on. Lights are good. Auxiliary pump's still running. Wait till we clear a bit more altitude. Everything over here on the right hand side. Strobes should have been on, but we're looking good. So heading mode is locked in. We're going to continue our climb. We're going to hang over here to the left hand side just in a moment. Let's have a quick look. Bit of high terrain there you want to watch for. So as we turn, we just take our time and then see what happens. So in the meantime, lads, what we're going to do, well, if you're flying along with us, if you're on the Xbox, press 1. PC pilots, press 2. If you're using JoinFS or indeed Skynet, press number 3. And for everyone else who thinks Muse was wrong more than once, you press number 4. Hello, Fireflies. Welcome to the Flying Circus. We live stream Monday to Friday, 2000 Zulu time, right here. So, all those names you see, they are pilots flying from somewhere in the world, and they're joining us all here tonight in a multiplayer. How friggin' cool is that? Gibbo Ireland is banned from the channel. Gibbo is banned from the channel. It's actually very good. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, thanks, Gibbo. His contribution to Napoleon it is going to be more memorable than what I have to say. Oh, right, where are we at? We're going the wrong way, but that's all right, friends. As we continue to climb up to 3,000 feet, and let's just have a quick look around us here now. We're heading back towards Ajaccio. And so many people flying. This is awesome. So what we'll do, there's a runway just below at our 1 o'clock. We'll circle around here and we'll start picking into our notes because I have many. So friends, to understand the man, you must first understand the world that made him. And the world of the 1760s was a place of fragile beauty and terrifying decay. Europe was old. Was tired. The Bourbon monarchy in France sat upon a throne of gold, unaware that the wood beneath was rotting. In the salons of Paris, men in powdered wigs discussed philosophy and the rights of man, while sipping wine that cost more than a peasant earned in a lifetime. It was the twilight of the Ancien regime, a time of rigid class structures, where your last name determined your destiny before you drew your first breath. But far from the gilded cages of Versailles, in the middle of the Mediterranean, there was a rock, a wild, untamed spine of granite rising from the azure sea. Corsica. It was a place of vendettas and violets, of goat tracks and gunpowder. A place where honour was written in blood and silence. Yes, it was basically the Wild West, but with better cheese and more donkeys. Now, you have to understand the geopolitics here. For centuries, this lump of rock had been owned by the Republic of Genoa. And let's be honest, Genoa in the 18th century, well, it was like a high street bank in 2008. Over-leveraged, morally bankrupt, and desperately trying to hide the fact that they had no money. The Genoese were terrible landlords. They taxed the Corsicans, they ignored them, they occasionally tried to kill them. The Corsicans, being Corsicans, responded by shooting at anyone wearing Genoese silk. By 1768, Genoa had had enough. They were broke and they couldn't afford to keep the garrison and the island where the locals used tax collectors for target practice. So they did the unthinkable. They put an entire country up for sale. On May the 15th, 1768, the Treaty of Versailles was signed. It was a sordid little business transaction. Genoa sold their rights to Corsica to King Louis the 14th or the 15th of France. Louis the 15th, right? The price, about 2 million livres, I think was the currency, which sounds like a lot, but in terms of buying a strategic Mediterranean island, considering the history of this place, right, it was pretty much a very clearance sale bargain. It was the geopolitical equivalent of buying a used Tesla for about 50 quid because the owner knows that, well, there was no battery in it, right? The French thought they were buying a strategic naval base. They were actually buying was a 200-year insurgency. The Corsicans were horrified. They were a very proud people. They believed that they were on the verge of independence. They had a leader, the famous Pasquale Paoli, a man of intellect and iron who had drafted a constitution before the Americans even thought about it. When the French troops landed, some 30,000 of them, a golden wave of muskets and arrogance, Paoli didn't bow. He called on his people and they took to the mountains. Now, imagine the scene. You have the French army, the finest military machine in Europe, trained in open field warfare, dressed in immaculate white uniforms, and facing them, a bunch of angry shepherds with rusty muskets and very intimate knowledge of the local shrubbery, the local surroundings, right? The maquis in this dense, thorny and aromatic scrub that covers the island, well, if you're a French soldier, it's a nightmare. You can't see 5 feet in front of you. Everything smells like rosemary and indeed death, and every rock seems to have a gun barrel behind it. For a year, the Corsicans humiliated the French. It was the classic David and Goliath stuff. But, as is usually the case in history, Goliath eventually gets tired of playing games and just sits on David. The end came on a spring morning, May the 9th in 1769, the Battle of Ponte Nuovo. The French army, under the command of Comte de Vaux, cornered Paoli's forces at the ancient Genoese bridge spanning the Golo River. The river was swollen with snowmelt. It was a slaughter. The Corsicans fought with the desperation of men defending their homes, but bravery is poor armour against artillery. The French volley fire shredded the resistance, and the waters of the Golo ran red, carrying the bodies of patriots down to the sea. Paoli, the father of the nation, fled into exile to London, and the dream of a free Corsica was buried in the mud on the riverbank. Among the survivors of that disaster was a young, ambitious lawyer. His name was Carlo Bonaparte. He was 23, handsome, slightly prone to melodrama, and by his side was his wife, Letizia. Now, Letizia was pregnant, heavily pregnant. She had followed Carlo into the mountains, retreating from the French, sleeping in caves, dodging the musket balls, and when the battle was lost, Carlo looked at the situation. He looked at the French flag flying over the citadel. He looked at his pregnant wife, and he did some very quick mental arithmetic. Option A, die a martyr and leave your family destitute, or option B, learn French, buy a nice velvet coat, and see if the new management is hiring. He chose option B. Where am I going? This way! Right? So they retreated to their home in Ajaccio, the Casa Bonaparte. It still stands there, would you believe? It's a modest house in a narrow street where the sun struggles to reach the cobblestones. They were Bonapartes. The U was important to them, the Bonaparte. It spoke of their Italian heritage. They traced their lineage back to Tuscan nobility, mercenaries and minor aristocrats who had come to the island centuries before. Although we could argue that, well, you know, there was a Scottish person involved. They did have status, but they were land poor. They owned olive groves and vineyards, but cash was scarce. In Corsica, you paid your bills with oil and wine. Now, they did have a small little summer house as well, but overall, not great. So the family dynamic. Carlo was a dreamer. He was a bit of a dandy, to be honest. He loved poetry, he loved gambling, and he loved spending money on fancy buckles for his shoes. He was a political weather vane. Whichever way the wind of power blew, well, that's where Carlo tended to follow. But the real power, the engine of that family, was Letizia. Maria Letizia Ramolino. She was married at 14, and by the time she was 19, she had seen war, death, and starvation. She was a woman of frightening strength. She wasn't a mother who coddled. She was the matriarch who commanded. She saved every coin, managed the estates, and raised her children with a discipline that bordered on the military. She washed them in cold water to toughen them. She taught them that pain was temporary, but family was eternal. Napoleon later said she had the head of a man on the body of a woman. Lost, privation, fatigue, she endured them all. So, we're now in the summer of 1769. The French have officially taken over, the island crawling with soldiers. It's hot, properly hot. On August the 15th, the Feast of the Assumption, Letizia is at a mass in the Cathedral of Ajaccio. She's heavily pregnant with her second surviving child. Suddenly, pangs, serious ones. She doesn't make a scene, she doesn't scream, she simply gets up and walks home. It's a relatively short walk, but it's steep. She gets through the front door of the Casa Bonaparte, but she can't make it to the bedroom. So there, in the hallway, on a rug, legend says it depicted the heroes of the Iliad, she drops a baby boy. They named him Napoleon, a name of obscure origin, perhaps meaning Lion of the Valley, or perhaps named after an uncle who had died young. He was small, scrawny infant with a disproportionately large head, and he yelled consistently. Here's the kicker though, the timing, right? As I'm trying to remain on course. If he had been born in 1767, for example, Genoese, well, he would have been a nobody. If he was born in America, he would have been a colonist. But because he was born after the Treaty of Versailles and after the Battle of Ponte Nuevo, this boy was now a subject of King Louis XV. He was French by a margin of some 15 months. It is the single greatest fluke. If the Genoese had held out for another 2 years, Napoleon would have just been a very angry Italian grocer. It's funny how kind of history does these things when you consider it. Now, we're not landing here, lads. Keep her lit. We're heading to the next spot. So, where are we at? We're at childhood. We'll move back to that in a moment. So that's kind of the... he got his first real six string, right? Isn't it mad, right? So there we have the political turmoil of the time. The whole place, the island, sold to the French. These were proud Corsicans, right? Corsica goes all the way back to the Romans. They look down at the Romans. The Romans. Also the Moors, right? And of course the French. And the Italians for that matter. But anyway, there you have the entire country sold. And by the skin of his teeth, Napoleon, who's technically French, but he's from Corsica. I mean, he's Corsican through and through. You know what I mean? Mathis, thank you very much indeed for 3 months. Cheers, buddy. Can I land here? Of course I can. Brilliant. But yeah. Yeah, Zero Mike. Cheers, man. Marv, did you write this stuff? I did. I spent a terrible long time writing stuff. Too long. I started working on this last year. But anyway, it's just interesting when you think about it. So, Napoleon Bonaparte, we all know him as Napoleon. And it's funny how many figures in history you know, are still recalled today, and we know them on their first name basis. There's not too many, right? Napoleon Bonaparte. So he was born on a rug in a hallway. His mother, Laetitia, who was just a great bit of stuff, right? Ferocious woman. His father, very much a dreamer, right? And being able to move and sway with how power and politics was going. And it's very important we realise this, because if his dad didn't decide to kind of, you know, right, I better look after me family here, think about it. Well then, because Napoleon was now born technically French, a subject of, you know, King Louis XV, well, that opened up the world of opportunity to him, especially because they were on their new island. France wanted to make a big song and a dance because, well, they've spent all this money buying this island, so they want to help them, they want to convert them. But yet the French were very much outcasts here. I mean, think about it. French high society, aristocracy, well, they're all white powdered faces, makeup, and they're wearing these mad looking wigs in very velvety type clothes. Most people on Corsica, they were farmers. They were hard workers. They didn't have time for makeup or, you know, silly hats. These guys were all about looking after their land, looking after their livestock or their crops. So it was quite a dynamic to have all the way back then. And the timeline in the world, this exact little window we're peering into here of those 1760s, America is doing a thing. It's fighting back. There's all things starting to happen over there. Europe itself, they're all jostling for position between the British, the Austrians, Prussia. All of this is going on. Even the Russians at this stage with the Tsars. There's quite a lot going on in the world, even at home here in Ireland. 20 years from this position where we're at in the 1760s, well, there's all sorts of rebellion happening in Ireland. So it's a very turbulent time as we fly directly towards a big, massive mountain in which we better turn, right? So it's very interesting. It's fascinating. Do you know? So, how are we all getting on from the aviation side of the house? Well, friends, we are flying now at the very south of Corsica. The next island over, which we can actually see from our position, is the beautiful land of Sardinia. But where we're going to stay now, which is still under the... it's still part of France, right? Corsica. As you can see, even looking out your window, this beautiful countryside, it is absolutely stunning, but very high granite rocks. The Romans, way back when, I mean, Corsica was one of the first offensive battles they did. It was the first island they tried to take on, leading up to the war with Carthage. So you're talking way back when during the Roman Republic, way back when, 300 BC. When you look at the terrain, could you imagine where they had, encampments or fortifications? If you had an army that either landed on the coast and you had to get all the way up to the top of some of these peaks, even when the Corsicans were trying to, guerrilla warfare against the French, could you imagine this level of fatigue that you'd have? Absolutely nuts when you think about it. When you see the coastline, when you see the size of the mountains, the layout of the entire area, you kind of do get a grasp of, we're at 3,000 feet now. There's easily another 1,000, maybe 2,000 feet, and these are sharp, sheer cliffs in places as well. But yeah, Corsica today, very much so a French holiday destination. It's a beautiful, beautiful island. Let me see, Uniform, good to see it. Is 32 gigs of RAM enough for the sim? 32 would be, yes. 64 ideal, but 32 is enough. Yes. Really good rally location. Yes, absolutely. Corsican rally. Anywhere we have mountains like this, absolutely brilliant, do you know? Right, so we're going to plan our first landing for this evening. Fairly straightforward. The airport we're going to land at, it is Figuri Sud Cors. So basically Figuri on the south of Corsica. Fairly long runway. We don't need to worry too much. So we're going to make our entry to the airport as we plan here a little landing. We're going to go for runway, what do we have here? 05 it looks like. So we're going to drop altitude. There's a lovely little marina just on the, you can see it from the air, look. There's a beautiful little marina down here. We're going to fly in over that as we approach the airport for our first stop of the night. And we'll get down, get a landing, checking our fuel, make sure the aircraft is running in tip-top shape. But as I said, this is the Gabriel. I reckon you're going to see a lot more of these aircraft. Music, yeah, that's live weather though. We're not going live weather, Chief. The highwayman, good to see you. Wasn't expecting that. Brilliant. Yeah, no, I haven't gone with live weather, only because it's you won't see a thing. You know what I mean? But these aircraft, as I say, like, I would imagine you're going to start seeing a lot more of them, particularly at flight schools, because they're cheap to run, right? They're very capable. They have the, you know, retractable landing gear. They have a decent power plant, be it with a Rotax or indeed with the Lycoming engine. But when you think about it, I mean, pilot or, you know, student or instructor, it's you know, it's a tandem setup, which I think from a student's perspective is better, because I mean you absolutely feel that element of better be important here, right? Better look after things. But also when you look at the visibility here, lads, I mean, that open canopy, you don't see canopies like this on a lot of general aviation. These tend to be in like military style aircraft, so it's great to see. So as our speed is coming down, we're going to drop the landing gear as we try and watch that airspeed. But we'll go for a notch of flaps. We'll also turn off our yaw dampener. Easy now, she's a bit lively. There's that marina at her 1 o'clock. Beautiful part of the world, isn't it? Nighthawk says, I don't think LFKS is in the sim. I say it is, because we got a lot of people coming in. Let us see. LFKS, you say? Where's LFKS? Up the road. We'll have a look. We'll have a look. Alright, speed is looking okay. Around 80 knots or so. We've 1 notch of flaps. Prop is full. Gear is down and we're indicating. Lights need to come on. So go get our landing light turned on. And we'll just sail in for our first stop. It may not be on sim brief if it's not open. Ooh. So this is our first airport, our first stop. Lima Foxtrot, Kilo Foxtrot. This is the first stop for tonight, lads. So we're going to aim for our touchdown zone, which are the larger markers on the outside. You have your piano keys at the first. You have your 100-meter markers. We're going to go for the big ones. Do you have photogrammetry on? I've turned mine off. Yes, we have it on. There's no photogrammetry out here. Très bien. Merci, monsieur. Thank you very much, the highwayman. Alright, watch it here now. Speed's a little bit high. We'll go for a second notch of flaps. Ease off the speed. 0.5 is what we want. Don't worry, lads. It's a simulator. We can't cause damage. Only damage our ego. Okay, so look at the drag with those extra flaps, look. 60 knots, hold the nose. Small bit of power. There's our flare. Let's bleed off the speed.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Stew. The timing of stew. There's a touchdown right in the stall horn. Nose gear's down. And we're just going to decel. Small bit of braking. Go ahead and bring the flaps back in. And we'll do a very quick U-ey here. We don't need to go to the ramp. So instead of a touch and go, it's a what do they call it? Is it a stop and go? That's how you refer to this in aviation. Not a touch and go. They'd actually class it as a stop and go. Timing is absolutely savage. Yeah, really nice to get a view of what you're doing in the cockpit as well. Yeah, right? It's mad, isn't it? I've many buttons and switches. So if you're here on, if you're watching this on YouTube on our vertical stream, you can see this camera angle here, which is looking at all my stuff. Kind of mad looking, isn't it? But effectively what I have, I'm using, I've Garmin Pilot in front of me, I've Navigraph here, I have 2 stream decks, and then my controls. It might look very kind of mad, but, you know. Rad bar and stop and go, but usually in the same direction, yeah, or a backtrack, yeah. So stop and go with a backtrack is kind of what we're aiming for, yeah, 100%. So, let's see what we can do here. Again, it's a fairly large runway, so I'm not too worried about what we do. Is this a glider? Henry Johnson, good to see you. No, not a glider. It's a light general aviation aircraft powered by a Lycoming engine. Got ourselves turned around here. So many people with us today, man. This is awesome. QC Frank, it's a portable touchscreen monitor. It's like an Amazon 80 bucks. It's ideal for Navigraph. So if any of you guys like, right, this monitor down here, if you can see it, this is a touchscreen. It's like 80 quid. It's USB. You pop something like Navigraph onto it, dead handy. You know, like, otherwise you're talking about tablets or, you know, fancy touchscreens. That's cheap as chips. Based on what it can do, you know what I mean? Right. We're going to plan to get ourselves airborne. We're going to flick on altitude is good. Heading, we're going to lock it back into runway heading. Phil D, good to see you, buddy. All right, let's go power in. Bouncy in the waves. There's the takeoff power. Doing the rudder dance to keep the nose somewhat center. Our airspeed is very much alive. There's 60 knots. Easy now. Gently back on the stick now. There's 70. Yep, see daisy. There's a positive rate of climb. Gear coming up. Tapping our toe brakes. We're going to hold 80 knots or so. Oh man, it's a beautiful part of the world. Look at those mountains over there. Traffic warning. Watch the RPM. Man, look at those mountains up there. Gorgeous. Okay, flaps are in. Speed is looking good. Autopilot activated. We're on heading mode. We're going to go IAS mode once again. Up to 3,000. Away we go. Now we can increase the speed a little bit. Let's see what we can do here. Let's call it 120 knots. And that'll shallow out our rate of climb. So get our speed up. And then once we hit 120-ish, the aircraft will start nosing up to maintain that speed. Indicated airspeed mode, it's just in comparison to if you use vertical speed. VS mode, you got to watch that because the aircraft will eventually run out of power, right? It'll run out of speed. If your autopilot has an IAS mode, indicated airspeed, it means it will only pitch when it is able to maintain the speed in which you put in, so you don't run the risk of stalling. So IAS mode is always more safer, and it allows you then to kind of focus on other systems, right? That's a clear difference between both of them. So let me see, after takeoff, keep the pump on. We're looking good here. Fuel is okay. We can double check on our fuel. We can see our fuel quantity left and right. I'm using both tanks at the moment. There's no need to change the different tanks. We're running on both, so we're just climbing nicely here. Now what we might do, that's got to be Wombat. That's a wild Wombat beside us. The man can literally fly on our wing. So what we might do, we might just extend this leg a little bit. We might just traipse out here to the right-hand side a little bit, because there's some beautiful scenery down here. I mean, look at this gorgeous little bay town. Look, little bit of a mountain there, just like villages and whatnot, and you have marinas and whatnot down here as well. It's very, very good. Captain Norris, I don't think it's a Navajo. I think that's the... what is that, the 404? Yeah, it looks like a 404. Very nice though. That's okay, Captain Norse. Marcel, a very good evening to you. Hope you're well. And yeah, the Titan, that's the one. You bought the Azerpoli last week. I love it. Oh wait, I bought an Arzopa last week. The screen, Frank. Very good. Very good. Right, back into this now. And sure, listen, I'll bore the socks off you for another few minutes. So, let me see. We'll do one of these. Childhood in Ajaccio. The boy grew up in the shadow of French occupation. He was a child of the Mediterranean sun. His skin was olive, his eyes grey-blue and piercing. Napoleon was not an easy child. His older brother, Joseph, he was calm and gentle. Napoleon was a storm. He earned the nickname Rabulion, the meddler or the disturber. He roamed the streets of Ajaccio, playing with the street urchins, fighting, throwing stones, and he absorbed the vendetta culture on the island. He learned that an insult must be answered, that loyalty is absolute, and that the clan comes first. Right? Patrick Doyle, thank you very much indeed. 13 months. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Red Baron, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. He had a favourite hiding place. It was a cave in the rocks at the family's country estate, Les Mileli, or Mileli. He would sit there for hours, looking out at the sea, dreaming. But he wasn't dreaming of France. At this time, Napoleon, he hated the French. He would see the French soldiers in the streets as the occupiers. He'd even spit on the ground in front of them. To young Napoleon, Pasquale Paoli was God. The French, well, they were the devil. He later wrote, "I was born as the fatherland was dying. 30,000 Frenchmen vomited upon our coasts, drowning the seat of liberty in torrents of blood." Imagine a 7-year-old boy saying that. Most 7-year-old boys are complaining that, the juice box is empty or they can't do a loop in the sim. Napoleon was ranting about the death of liberty. While Napoleon was busy hating the French, his dad was busy joining them. Carlo Bonaparte was a master networker. He realised that the new French governor, the Comte de Marbeuf, was a lonely man on a hostile island. So, Carlo invited him over for a pint. A lot. Now, there were rumours, as Marbeuf was very fond of Letizia. Well, he was always at the house. He arranged picnics. He became the godfather to one of the children. And just to be kind of clear, Letizia had 12 children, but I believe only 8 survived. Such was the harshness of things back then. Napoleon, of course, being the second. 12, right? She gave birth 12 times. Now, we're not saying anything happened, but we are saying suddenly the Bonapartes started doing very well for themselves by having Marbeuf over for a couple of pints, a few cups of tea, right? Cracker, thank you very much indeed. Patrick, good to see you, buddy. Cracker, 6 months in advance. There's optimism. Thank you very, very much indeed, buddy. As we're flying here, lads, check out the view on the left-hand side. Isn't that only gorgeous? Look, isn't that only gorgeous? You can see why the French love holidaying here. It's absolutely stunning. Now we're going to do a bit of a left hook heading up the coast here now, so bear with us. Wombat's still on our wing. So Marbeuf was the key. He encouraged Carlo to apply for official recognition of nobility under the new French laws. This was crucial. In France, the army and the church were reserved for the nobility. If Carlo could prove he was noble, well, his sons could get a free education funded by the king. There was a name for this, for aristocracy. In modern life, we would, in normal life, you hear things like, you're on the benefit or welfare. But the aristocrats had something similar. The aristocracy had certain things that were paid for by the king, right? And this took years of digging through dusty archives in Tuscany, forging new documents, and also calling in favours. But on September 13th, 1771, the Superior Council of Corsica officially declared the Bonaparte family noble. They were now noble. The door to France was unlocked. Carlo was elected to the Estates General of Corsica, and in 1777 he was chosen as a deputy to represent the nobility at the court of Versailles. The rebel lawyer was now bowing to the king. This was a huge, huge change. Going from, I don't even want to say peasants, but going from such bleak outcomes to seeing and understanding what was going on in the world, Carlo Bonaparte, Napoleon's father, realised that here's a guy from France. They sent him out to kind of, get a bit of a shape for the place. He was in very much hostile, in a hostile environment. And Carlo, the dark horse, the shark, realised this. So he befriended him. Hey, come on over here, good kind sir, monsieur. Right? And that changed the political viewpoint for the Bonaparte family unbelievably well, because they hit it off. Rumours of, he was a bit interested in the missus. Leave that to one side for the moment. But by Carlo doing this, it gave him a standard. It gave him this new sense of purpose, this new position within the nobility, within the aristocracy. He was no longer a simple lawyer. Gone are the days of worrying of, going up the mountains and working with Paolo. Not at all. Next, before we know it, Carlo Bonaparte, he'll be the one donning on the pasty makeup and also the funny wigs and wearing all sorts of velvet. He was a dreamer, but he was sharp. It has to be said, he was sharp. Where you have Letizia, she was rough and she was strong and raised her children almost to be military grade at such a young age. I mean, she bathed them in cold water to toughen them up. What? Could you imagine that now? They'd be onto it's abuse, so it is, right? And Napoleon, at such a young age, even at the age of 7, he's seeing all of these things. He's figuring out quite young that, the French are here, they don't belong here. They're taking my liberty. At 7, right? But then he's seeing his father. Hang on a second. What's Dad doing? Why is he getting close? Oh, now I see what he's doing. So he's learning at such a young age. 7. Usually, we wouldn't kind of figure this stuff out till, I suppose, our teens. Do you know what I mean? How the world works. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Right? So he's learning all of these things very, very early on. And when you look at history or historical events and you're saying to yourself, what would have happened had he not have met your man? Right? What would have happened if they didn't have? What would have happened if he didn't actually get on with Carlo? History, as we know it, would be different. How to suck up 101, 100%. 100%. Put marbles in their shoes, right? Kieran Niall is here. Good to see you, man. Welcome aboard. You are now noble. It's mad, isn't it? Murph, have you flown the F-22 Raptor? I have. It's very good. It's very good. Yeah, if you're having issues with multiplayer, just make sure you're on the right server. Toggle multiplayer off and back on. Restart the sim and everything. So, Stu, if you've turned off multiplayer from in the game, in the sim, you can only turn it back on in the sim. If you're out in the main menu and you can't turn it on or off, just go in and start a flight, turn it on in the sim menu as you're flying, jump back out onto the main menu, and then go all players. That should do it. That should do it. Right, we are approaching our second stop now. Lima Foxtrot Kilo Sierra. Autopilot off. Let's bring the power right back on this one, lads. because there's our airport ahead of us. Once more, it's another big airport, but what's going to make things interesting now, the airport after this, Lima Foxtrot Kilo Tango, we actually got to go into those mountains over on the left, right? Cannot wait for Sim Update 4. Join the club. It's a right faff, so it is, says Malky. What, the multiplayer thing? Alright, watch your speed here now, as it's coming down nicely. Beautiful, beautiful views here, lads, right? So as we plan, as we come in for an approach for our second landing, well, sure, let's take in the old views here. Great flying by Wombat. I mean, look at the accuracy, man. Alright. Flying over some gorgeous marinas here. Man, look at that scenery, look. And here's one for you. Do you see the fields down there? If you haven't noticed this before, those fields during the year in the sim, they'll show crops. Crazy. So for some folks who are saying this airport isn't actually an airport, uh-oh. Medic24 Live, good to see you, Medic. You're very welcome in. Thank you so much indeed. 7 months, buddy. So what I recommend, lads, if you don't have an airport here, because it's possible you need Navigraph, if you go up the road, Lima Foxtrot Kilo Golf, it is due north about, I don't know, 10 miles north of this airport. There is an airport there. So continue on just 10 miles north. If you don't have an airport here, there is an airport, Lima Foxtrot Kilo Golf, 10 miles north of this location. All right, let's see if we can touch down for another landing. Terrain goes up again. Kiss the boats goodbye, right? Alrighty, let's see what we can do here. Alright, speed is looking good. Better get our landing lights on. Forgot to do that, Murph. Oopsie daisy. Alright, landing lights are set. Gear is down, prop full. Speed is looking good, in around the 70s. Gear is down. We got 3 green lights on, indicating that the gear is down and locked. 70 knots on approach. This is nice and easy. So, if for whatever reason you don't have an airport here, 10 miles north, lads. All right, runway 36 straight in. There's a bit of a stutter in the sim. Thanks, sim. Easy now. There's our touchdown zone. Those big markers, that's what we aim for. Oh, you divil you. Alrighty, hold the power.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
The stutters are real. Touchdown. Oh, Chase, we felt that in Neutrum. Stu, you're timing with the lights. Considering there's a stream delay, I don't know how he actually does it, but he does. He absolutely does. The field to the left is bumpy. So there is a case that Navigraph will actually tell the sim, hey, there's an airport here. Right? So that's, for some folks, that's, oh, look at that. We got a, oh, Bell Bro, beautiful choice of aircraft, man. In a Firefly Air livery as well. Gorgeous. Look at the state of that. Right, onto the grass. On the grass we go. Sneaking up behind everyone. Go handy now, it's quite bumpy. Imagine, oh Jesus, imagine getting a, oh, go handy will you? Imagine getting a prop strike here, could you imagine? I remember learning years ago, a lot of airports, they use a special species of grass that surrounds the runway. It's no ordinary grass. Did you know that? So how does Navigraph actually produce airports that aren't in the sim? Well, Navigraph doesn't do it. Navigraph has data in it to say, hey, there's an airport here, and then the sim goes, ah, what size airport? Grand, I'll make one. That's kind of how it works. Beautiful Comanche there beside us. Jesus, all the bumps. Now again, we don't need full runway here. Is Wombat flying with one engine? I would say it's the L model matching. Right. Back onto the runway where things are an awful lot more smooth. Now for altitude for this, lads, we're going to need more than 3,000 obviously, right? So we're just going to sit here for a moment. We're going to put our heading to runway heading. Altitude originally set for 3,000. We're going to bring this guy all the way up, right? So let's have a look here. We're going to go 6,000, right? Initially, and let's see what happens. We might need more, but 6 for the moment. If we go ahead and bring up Navigraph, we can actually get the Mora data. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh Jesus, we need how much for this leg? A lot to do. Right. Let's see what happens here. We also have our fantastic set intentions. So if anyone can remember how this works, if you put in !SI commands, who do we have with us today? On the intercom we have a tour guide of Sarah. So if you want, you can put in !tour guide space and then request some information from Sarah. Maybe you can ask her about Napoleon, for instance, or you can ask about Corsica. So let's see what happens. I turn multiplayer on and off in flight and out of the flight at the main menu. It's still not working? No way. Mr. Corn Polo, greetings from Germany. Guten Abend, my friend. Hello from Tipperary. So will I get the ball rolling and we see what happens, right? Hang on. I need to press some buttons, lads. Do 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 do. Okay. We'll try it now. So if I do this, tour guide, right? Tell me about Napoleon. Error. Tour guide. Why is that erroring out? Stand. Oh, hang on. Stand fast. Easy now. Easy now. It's thinking about it. We'll try it again. I could have broken it. Hang on. She got the message. That's the main thing. Okay. Let's try this again. Ooh. Hello, Sarah. It's Murph. Uh-oh. Do you know the way when things work great and then they stop working? When things fail, what do? You turn it off and turn it back on again. Alright, let's see if it works now. Yes. Give it a moment. Give it a moment. Let's see what happens. Right. She's giving you the silent treatment. What time is it? In general? Or in the same? It's about 1 o'clock in the same. Easy now. Take off power is set. Speed alive. And we'll use our noise cancelling here as well. Hey Sarah, you there? Yepsy daisy. Pause ready to climb. And indicating. Gear coming in. Flaps going in. See you later is here. Good to see you, buddy. 3,000 feet makes the next airport, says Crappy One. Alright, well, we got to cross some mountainous terrain, so we'll see how we get on here. Autopilot, go ahead and lock it in. And we will go... what's our speed? 110? Let's go 120. 120 is locked. Let's go IAS mode. And we're on heading mode, so we'll start climbing. Yeah, live weather, no good. No good. Middle marker, that's okay. Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Could be just an issue with, say, intentions this evening. Try it again. There's a beep. Maybe they're working on it. Let's see what she says. Hello? Dun dun dun. Interesting. Let's see what happens. Had to redo my cam binding for the for intentions yesterday. For some reason it got deleted. No way. They could be working on it. So I'll let them know there's an issue. Alright, not to worry. We'll send them in a ticket and let them try and figure out what it is. So we are climbing 1,800 feet. We're going to come down on the left side a bit. There's an outer marker. That was that other airport, which is what, about 10 miles up from us? So we're looking okay. Back to my tablet here. We can actually turn off that headphone sync. There we go. So again, lads, this aircraft from Flying Fries is like, you know, $12, $12.70. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So let me see. We're going to cut into the left-hand side, and I think we can get a bit of crack here around some of these mountains. So that is what we're going to do, right? But as we're going to do this, we might as well get another head count. So, friends, if you are flying, still flying, Xbox pilots press 1. If you're on the PC, press 2. Join FS or Skynet, press 3. And if you're still shocked that Muse only made one mistake in his life, would you press number 4? Ho ho, Julia! So we're climbing nicely here up into the mountains. We'll throw a little bit of a left turn in. Take our handy wombat. Don't mind the Muse, I think you're great. So there is that other airport. That's a nice little airport. So we got 25 on the PC, 1 on console, 2 on Skynet. Thank you very much indeed, Super Ty. Now, the question here is, right, with the lovely, lovely looking terrain that we have in front of us, because it does look very, very nice, I'm kind of half thinking, should we go down a bit lower and kind of explore it? You know what I mean? Just for the sheer crack of it, right? So, let me see. Speed, we're at 3.7. Like, looking at the map, is there a way to kind of cut through here? Yeah, there's roads and rivers. Autopilot off. Let's see what we can do here and have a bit of fun. It won't happen again, Muse. I'll go back to making fun of Murph's hands. Heisenberg, listen, that's right, yeah. Always lower, says Mr. TPHI. Like, here's the thing with this aircraft. I mean, it looks like something you can absolutely throw around there, but it's, as I said, it's quite calm. It's docile. Like, you know what I mean? It's docile. It looks terribly good, though. It looks terribly good. So, in the words of Murph, it is time... Oh, Jesus, buttons, Murph. It is time to do one of these just for the sheer crack of it to see what happens. And look, if it goes wrong, we'll blame someone else. Oh, yeah. Oh, heck yeah. There's a dam down here, look. We all blame Mrs. GPHI. Follow me, lads! Oh, jeez. I have it on very good authority. This is the sort of stuff that Napoleon liked to do, you know. Oh, Jesus, hang on, this is a bad idea. Look out for the power lines! Oh, Jesus. Oh, easy, oh God, easy now. Gently does it. Man alive, look at this scenery. Isn't this spectacular, lads? Absolutely gorgeous. Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. Yes, PH Roy, great announcement there. The Navigraph Academy has officially launched today. That's free for everyone. You don't even need a Navigraph subscription. And their first course, it's now available. It is the VPPL, which is the Virtual Private Pilot License. We're going to start this on a stream on Thursday. We're going to complete the entirety of the course. And as I said, it's free for everyone. If you want to go back to the absolute basics, or perhaps you are new with flight simulation, you'd like to learn how to fly, well, Navigraph Academy 100% have you covered, and it is entirely free. Absolutely mad. Mad, we say. It's alright, I've seen my mistake. We're now going the right way. Jesus. Tough crowd. We can see Squawker 1. Faku is with us. Mrs. GBHI. QC Frank. We see, let's go with Pawn Star. Right. One back, one Muse, you devil you. Mr. C, Visualize, Corsair, Larry Cundle is with us. Fredericks is there, Jana God, Doobie Doo, Heapster, Daddy Plum, Stu Snape, Vacuum, Captain Cocktail. Oh, Jesus, there's a mountain. There is, oh God, there's nothing to see. There, oh God, there. Oh Jesus, we're running out of steam, lads. Oh no, this is going to turn out terribly bad. Yeah, this now, lads.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you.
Right, I know how to get out of this mess.
Oh, Jesus.
Who asked you? Whisht!
It's not the plane. It's the pilot.
I'm going over this way. Listen, we're going to edit that last bit out. There is nothing to worry about. You saw nothing. Nothing happened. Everything was grand. It's all in your heads, lads. Yeah, totally in your... In fact, let's play some music to pretend it didn't happen. Yes, victorious music. Victory music. I mean, that was really close, wasn't it? Jesus, look at the views, though. It was worth it. Look at the views. Jesus, look at this. It was worth it. If you're just joining us, nothing at all happened of consequence. No, we've been doing some realistic simulated flying by the book, friends. Yes, by the book. Nothing at all went wrong, you know, at all. Let's go this way. Oh, hang on, there's something down here, look. It's an antenna. Oh, lads, look at the scenery. I mean, we got pretty close to it. But it's gorgeous. Follow me! Don't follow me! Adam Control says, my favourite fact about Napoleon is the journey he went on to the water park and bowling alley in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Excellent. Brilliant. Good to see Adam, hope you're well.
Who's in charge?
Listen.
I haven't a clue what you're doing.
To mind him now, right? All of this is exactly what we had planned. You know, why am I going? We're going to the... We're going out this way, look. Yes. Where it's safer and, you know. It's all part of the learning experience, friends, you know. Why is there white paint on the mountain? Listen, right? I mean, it was a bit of snow. Oh, lads, this scenery is stunning, isn't it? It's absolutely gorgeous here. Easy now. We change it then. There goes QC Frank. Right, down arrow a little bit. So our airport is not too far away. We'll keep going straight. We're going to approach it onto runway 30. And let's see what happens. That fuga isn't loud enough. Those things are crazy loud. Who are you telling? Grew up with them. Catching up in the Chinook. What a machine it is. Chinook is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Right, Lima Foxtrot, Kilo Tango. That's this stop. Our third last. Second. No. Our fourth last. 1, 2. We've 3 more landings after this one. 6 miles out. Easy now. Jeez, the views are savage, aren't they? I just got back with tea. All the mountains. I'm surprised Murphy hasn't bumped into one yet. That'd never happen, Energizer. I mean, come on, will you? Don't scroll back. Ooh, right. Yeah. It's looking terribly good. Fuel is alright. We're overspeeding this thing, but it's grand, right? Runway 30 is just over the brow of this hill. And then it's going to be a hard left. The trees broke the fall. What are you talking about, lads? It's all in your head, so it is. So next week, we're not finished now. We have a little bit left in our story tonight. But next week, we're going to be flying in a very different airplane. The Coronado Centurion, the CT-210N. Trailer just released for Innie Builds Manchester. Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. That's a purdy looking airport, isn't it? Adam, I was only saying we need to go to Manchester, you know, for scientific reasons and go to the pub. But the only reason we're going to the pub, in fact, it's because it just happens to be beside the runway in which we can watch aircraft come into land. And, of course, take off. This runway, she's up here a bit, just hiding. Yeah, it'd be great for a day trip. Now, it's handy because you live in Dublin. Can I crash on your couch or something? Yeah, research. I won't be like Musefan. You know, you invite Musefan to stay in your house, or he'll sleep outside. Yeah, right? Shut up, you, will you? Musefan, follow. I'll have your spare room. Wait, what? You have a spare room? You're welcome to. No, shag off, Muse. I was here first. Sure, Muse, you wouldn't even go into the house. We can share it. Saw a Tunisian C-130J pass over today on its way to Iceland. No way. Where's this airport? It's over the hill. Jesus. We're carrying a bit of speed here, so we should be okay-ish. Oh, you asked for the sofa. Rubbish. Easy now. Ah, lads, this scenery is absolutely beautiful. Corsica is stunning, isn't it? Wowzers! Right, in we go. There's the runway. Watch the speed. A year ago, we used to go to the pub called the Boot Inn and watch the planes at Dublin Airport. They closed that though, didn't they? There's a loud plane. Alright, there's our runway. Speed is coming down. Let's go with the gear. Gear coming down. Landing lights on. Mind the trees, Murph, they hurt. Alright. Bit of power. Easy now. Oh man, this airport is gorgeous, look. Easy now, easy now. Yeah, they closed it a few years ago. Right, coffee, come on yourself. This is going to be interesting with the trees. Notch flaps. We'll try and hold a bit of altitude here just to get over those trees, and then we'll drop it in. There's 70 knots. Continue. Second notch of flaps. The Boot Inn, yeah, closed. Yeah. Ooh. Easy now. Right, over the trees. Here's the touchdown zone. Watch the flare. Power to idle. Hold. Touchdown. Alright. On the brakes. Flaps coming in. We'll get ourselves turned around here. Alright. Man, this is a lovely little airport, isn't it? Back then you'd see propeller planes coming in regularly. No way, Joe, really? That's the way it was, man. That's the way it was. Okay, our next stop, Lima Foxtrot Kilo Bravo, up on the north coast. And we got 24 miles, give or take. Not far. So we'll give ourselves a bit of room here on the runway. Every landing tonight I've had a massive stutter on touchdown. Mew, so have I actually. Funny that. Looking forward to some update 4. Alright, 1 notch of flaps, we're going to plan for takeoff. Let's just have a look. When we get airborne, we're going to peel off to the right. So keep that high terrain on our left hand side. Quick checking our fuel. Fuel quantity low enough. We will need to fuel at our next stop, lads, I would say. Alright. Stutters as well. Right, don't mind the fact that I'm flying through these, lads. The simulated horror. Power. Watch the manifold pressure. Airspeed. Alive. We're rolling. Rolling. There's 50. There's 60. You're upsy daisy. Positive rate of climb. Gear coming up. Gear indicates up. Flaps in. Alright. Gained a bit of altitude. We're going to roll over here to the right hand side and we're heading up to the very northeast of the island. We're looking good. Multiplayer stutters in proximity with each other. Yeah, I think that's unfortunately what happens. Alright, let's have a little look at what we're doing here. There's a lovely road we can follow here, look. Man, I'd love to visit Corsica. It looks absolutely stunning. Isn't it Sardinia that has all the spiders? So, like, Corsica would be grand, like. Do you know what I mean? Alright, autopilot engage. We're on heading mode. Altitude. I mean, we don't need an awful lot. I suppose, if we say 3. We'll say 3 for the minute. Stick it on IAS mode. And let's see what happens for the minute. Very lovely landing in the Chinook, if I do say so, considering you haven't flown it. Also with your new throttle. Nice. Good stuff, Mr. Dan. We're proud of you, man. Ethan says you need more cloud cover. If we use real world weather, it is proper cloudy, but like, you miss out on all the scenery then, do you know what I mean? Corsica is one of those places the scenery is far better on the ground. Eamon, yeah, it really is, isn't it? Corsica is beautiful. It's stunning here, man. Alright, more on the right. Easy does it. We're climbing up to 3,000 feet. It should give us enough clearance as we meander out. RPM is a little bit high. You've been, have you? Oh, nice. Eamon, is there anywhere you haven't been? You're well travelled, buddy. Oh, look at the lovely church down there in the village, look. Isn't it gorgeous here, look? Stunning. Right, we're kind of ish going the right direction, more on the right hand. We'll kind of come down to this little opening down here and then out to the right hand side. There is cloud cover, we want to watch for that. But we'll play it by ear. You'll be in Corsica in April. Oh, very nice, Viper Strike. And you're going to Ajaccio as well? That's awesome. Yeah, cruises. Yeah. That's awesome. Alright, fuel. We definitely need to fuel at our next airport. Lima Foxtrot Kilo Bravo. That's where we're going to next, lads, right? So, where am I? I'm down here. So, Carlo, elected to the Estates General of Corsica, he was chosen as a deputy to represent the nobility at the court of Versailles. The destiny of the Bonapartes could no longer be contained by the shores of Corsica. Carlo secured a royal scholarship for Napoleon to a military academy and for Joseph a seminary. The date was set December 15th, 1778. Napoleon was just 9 years old. Imagine the scene as they were leaving the harbour of Ajaccio. The winter sea is grey and choppy. The smell of salt and tar. Letizia stands on the dock. She doesn't weep. She tells her sons to be strong and to remember who they are. They board a ship bound for mainland France. And you have to realise at this stage, Napoleon didn't speak a word of proper French. He spoke a Corsican dialect. He wore clothes that were cut by a village tailor. He'd never seen a city larger than Ajaccio, which was basically a village with delusions of grandeur. They were heading to a place called Autun, and then on to Brienne. He was walking into the lion's den. As the mountains of Corsica faded into the mist behind them, the boy watched them disappear. He was leaving the world of vendetta, the olive grove and the sun. He was sailing towards a cold, grey land that would mock him, isolate him, and eventually crown him. The islander was gone, and the Frenchman was about to be born. So we will pick up our story on this next week when Napoleon goes to Autun and then up to the military academy, where there's all sorts of different things. He excels in some things and performs quite poorly in others. But the story we've covered tonight, we got kind of a rain check on, what's going on, what's the timeline, who the main characters are, particularly the impact that had on Napoleon as a child. The strength coming from his mother, the suave and political kind of intelligence coming from his father. The island, seeing his homeland, seeing it invaded, occupied by these foreigners in these strange, nicely dressed and, beautiful white uniforms. And of course of the island's father, Paolo. So Napoleon is already, at the age of 7, heavily influenced by all of these things in his life. And yes, he doesn't speak proper French. Corsican. He knows maybe a few French words, but nothing that'll get him by. And he speaks with an Italian accent. Imagine what that's going to do back in the mainland. But for me, Napoleon was always a fascinating person in history to me, but I never really delved into learning about him. Some of my strongest passions when it comes to history would be, Rome and the Second World War, right? The politics of it all, the logistics of it all. I'm fascinated by that. Napoleon, of course, was there, as were the others. Alexander the Great, doing a lot of research on him at the moment. That'll be a future series. And also others throughout history. But for the likes of Napoleon, who everyone knows the name, everyone's aware of that name, Napoleon, you instantly think, yeah, okay, the French fella, yeah. But there's still an awful lot kind of not known about him until you start really delving into it. I had no idea, for instance, the Emperor of Europe, the Emperor of France, was a very nervous child, brainwashed by so many different things around him. And yet, on the battlefield, later on in life, we'll learn he was a friggin' genius. An artilleryman was like an understatement. He perfected it in a lot of cases. And he saw opportunity, or opportunity saw him. It's a fascinating story. Ted, welcome in. Quokka is here, welcome aboard. Krabby One, you're more than welcome, buddy. As I say, like, anything history, I'm always interested in it. And it's funny, lads, history has a terrible habit of repeating itself throughout the world, right? It just does. History always repeats itself.
I have, Ted. I've been drinking like a mad idiot.
Like, where is this now? Even at, as I say, even with part one of what we're doing. Carlo and Letizia, the Corsican resistance, poverty, pride, identity, and of course the hatred of the French aristocracy. Every summer, by the way, the town organises, Ajaccio, where he was born, every summer the town organises great festivities to celebrate the anniversary of the birth of Corsica's most famous son. That's a yearly event on the island. Every year that it's done. You know? So we're going to plan for a landing coming up shortly. Easy now. Right, we'll do a bit of a right turn here just to figure this one in. Let's see what happens. Also, it's something that stuck with Napoleon. When he saw that, you know, his father was able to become this nobleman under the eyes of the French aristocracy, it has been suggested that Napoleon never forgave his father for what he felt was betraying Corsica. But he did love his father all the way to the end. And what is certain, in that some years, Napoleon did detest the French and everything that they stood for. He did declare, "I was born as the fatherland was dying. 30,000 Frenchmen vomited upon our coasts." Like, such a strong statement, drowning the seat of liberty and torrents of blood. Napoleon said those words. It's you know, it's mad considering where he ended up, right? Mad. Ted says, Murph, name 4 planes for an insane edit. 4 planes? Piper, Beechcraft, Cessna, Cirrus. Or 4 plane types. Been reading some history books this week. Just finished one of the last few months of World War I, says Malky. Ooh. Yeah, all we know is he made ABBA famous. Brilliant. Alright, let's autopilot off. We're going to turn back on course here. Easy now, plane. Easy now. And if we look out over here, there's a runway. And we got loads of people flying with us. It's amazing, lads, how many people are flying with us tonight. That's awesome. You love to see it. I mean, here we all are. It's no matter, like, this is staggering. Like, here we all are, all over the world, flying together, experiencing this thing of experiencing flying in a virtual Corsica, learning all about Napoleon, and Rev to mix with aviation. Why didn't we have this in school? Friend to all is here. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. So we're in the Flying Fries Gabriel. The 160 BK or the BK160. This is a gorgeous airplane. It's on sale right now. You can pick it up for €12.70, which is a steal. It's an excellent airplane. Great performance. Now, lads, remember, we need to top up some fuel here. Easy now. Alright, bit of pitch trim. Speed is dropping down nice and fast. Gear coming down. Landing light on. There she be. Easy now. Little bit jumpy. We might have actually went to school, right? What are we doing today in school? You're going to go flying and learn about a mad devil. Count me in. Alright, notch your flaps. Watch the speed. Easy now. Our next stop after this will make a... Oh no, it's LK... It's not KFC, it's FKC. Never mind! Lima Foxtrot Kilo Charlie is our next stop, lads. 20 odd miles to the west. Love the canopy. Zappel, it's so good, man. The view of this aircraft, I mean, It's completely unrestricted. It is phenomenally good. This is a great VF4 and IF4 capable airplane. Limited alright with altitude. This particular version, it'll operate at a maximum of 11,500. But low altitude airways will be no issue at all. Alright, easy does it. 90 knots. Flaps coming down. Full flaps. Speed bleeding off. Keep the nose down. Easy does it. It's like a glider. Kinda. It's like a military trainer. That's how I kind of feel about it, just from the basic style and shape of it. It's very beautiful. Trying to figure out Join FS?
Oh, Jesus.
Exclamation point Join FS will give you a pointer. Alrighty, watch the flare, power out, hold the nose.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Ah, for God's sakes, Stu! Touchdown! Alright. The timing is due! Bloody hell. Right. Flaps in. And we'll hang a left here. Get back to the start of the runway. We'll top up some fuel out the road. There we go. Fair play to you lads using the taxiway. There you go, Mike. That should come up for you there now. Oh, get off the rough. Oh, someone's in a hawk. Nice. So what are we doing this week? I've no daytime stream tomorrow, but tomorrow night we're back in Euro Truck Sim. Wednesday we have the news. Lord Freet is joining us from Flying Fries. Also Zach from Moza is joining us. So we've got 2 great interviews lined up. We're also going to be checking out the Miltech and Blackbird Simulations A1 Sky Raider. Very much looking forward to that aircraft. We got some sceneries thrown in there as well. On Thursday, we have a double header. We're going to be doing the Navigraph Academy during the day, and that night then we are flying into Chicago O'Hare for our VATSIM Thursday flight. Then on Friday night, we have another group flight. I'm going to be taking the Transall, the C-160, and we're flying in Ecuador. Some mountain flying. Going to be awesome. Alright, let's hold here. Back and brake on. I wonder can we fuel this with the engine on? We could be lucky. Fuel. Apply. There she be. Alright, we're back to 30 gallons now. That'll do her. Not enough points for the next 2 landings. We're safe. Nice. Nice. Okay. Not your flaps for takeoff. Thank you, Viper. And we'll do a Yui. Are you going to get the glow sticks out for Ecuador? Yes. Do. And the whistle. Do. And an luminous tank top. Yes. Right. Alright, heading set. Altitude set. Alright, lads, power coming in. Sim freeze. Up the yard. Alright, off the brakes. Power coming in. Takeoff power set. Airspeed alive. Let's roll. There's 60. Yep, see daisy. Positive rate of climb. And indicating. Gear up. Alright. Flaps in. Yaw dampener engage.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Colin Matter, good to see you. Okay. We will go IAS mode. We're going to hold at about 120. Easy now. In fact, we'll go a little bit slower. 115, I'd say, lads, because it's going to be a left turn here. We need to get over those mountains. And a bit of a left turn coming in. And let's see how we go. Oh, what a beautiful country, though, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Bum, bum, bum. All right, let's see where our climb goes. What's the sim and what's your setup? 67 Airway, welcome in. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and we're here in the Flying Fries Gabriel aircraft. Specs, it's running on a 5090 with a 9800 X3D. Fairly fancy bit of kit, but yeah, it's doing what it should do. Now, what was I trying to do here? Yes. A bit of tunage, I think, to get us over the mountains. Bit of a left turn coming in. Ooh. Man alive, look at the scenery. Beautiful. So if you're watching us on Twitch, we have some tunage for you. Thank you, 67 Airway. Very kind of you. Man, look at the road there, look. Jesus. Imagine you going out on your bicycle. Wait, we have Corsica in the gadget, haven't we? In Euro Truck Sim. Oh, this is gorgeous, lads. Absolutely gorgeous. Stunning. Yeah, it is. It's an ETS. Alright, nice climb here. We'll need more than 3,000. Let's see. Let's plan this up a little bit higher. I would say maybe 5. So 5,000. Indicate airspeed, drop her down. IAS. About a 115 will do us. Should you get the CRJ? Aviation A320? I like it. Yeah, I like the CRJ. 5.5 says airlock. Roger. Don't think I would want to take that road in ETS. It looks great. Alright, down on the left hand a little bit. Course 250 degrees. So we'll call it 5,500. We should be alright. There's a new DLC for ETS on Thursday and then a new one for ATS next week. Ooh, nice. Prasad Gerard, good to see you. Welcome aboard, man. Alright, we're climbing nicely. RPM not too happy with us. That's a bit better. Alright, we're climbing nicely. Coming up on 4,000 feet. Oh, look at that. Thanks, airlock. 5.5 will do her. Look at the scenery here. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? Corsica is just fantastic. It's hard to learn the CRJ. It takes a little bit to get used to it, but it is fun. It's great for like the short hops. You know. The tunage. It's nice and chilled out. Kelly Price, good to see you. So it's a canopy. The whole canopy opens off to one side. So you have a little switch here, and then a switch here, and the whole canopy opens over to the right. Alright, watch the RPM. It's a gorgeous airplane. Absolutely stunning. Scenery's gorgeous, isn't it? Look at the state of that, lads. Absolutely gorgeous. What a machine this is. Oh, could you imagine it flying here in real world? Oh, man. Like, I love the detail on the front, right? I mean, look at that. It just looks badass. Looks savage, doesn't it? That game time, it does look like a Lancer a little bit, yeah. So who do we have? Steve Rings, Jolly God, Ryder, Vacuum, Larry, Pawn Star, Flyer 10, Balut, Heapster. We can see Heart Healer, Captain Cocktail, Corsair, Doobie Doo, Grey Skies, Heisenberg, Mr. C, Mrs. TPHI, Visualize, Airlock, Zard, Daddy Plump, Fredericks, Stu Snape is with us. It's gorgeous, man. PC21 Mini, right? Cruise speed about 150. Really don't regret buying the Gabriel. It's so good, lads. €12.70. It's on sale right now. It's a steal. It's just an awesome airplane. Alright, course correction. Over to the right a little bit. It's just great for like scenic flying, isn't it? I sing this in the shower. It's the sort of song you dance to with your shoulders, you know what I mean? Main issue is the 11,000. Yeah. Easy now. Alright. So we're going to be approaching Lima Foxtrot Kilo Charlie. We're going to approach this airport from the north, landing on runway 18. So again, if you're new to aviation, the runway numbers correspond to the direction of a 360-degree circle, right? So runway 36 or 360, that's pointing north. That's at the very, very top of your 360-degree. 180 or 18, that's pointing directly south. So wherever you see numbers on a runway, they're correlating to the position of that 360-degree compass. You know what I mean? If you ever wanted to know. But they're also subject to what's called magnetic drift. Every couple of years, runway numbers will actually change depending on where they are in the world. So, for instance, you could have a runway that used to be 29er, and suddenly it's now 28 because, well, the poles shift as everything kind of works, right? Lewis, good to see you. You're very welcome in. Man alive, look at this scenery. So if you ever want to know why runway numbers and all that, how, you know, what do they correlate to? That's what it is. So you know, the runway heading is not based on the airport, it's based on the actual heading layout, what is magnetic north. Yeah, they're rounded up to the nearest 10 degrees. So in a lot of cases, if you look at the charts, for example, you're on runway 24, right? Well, technically that could be at a heading of 243 degrees, 0.3 off. They just round it back. Now, if it was 246, they'd more than likely bring it up to 25. You know what I mean? They're rounded. Man alive, look at the cut of the scenery. It's gorgeous here. We're at 5.5. We can probably drop this down now in a moment, but I'm heading for runway 18. So I want to do, I'll show you here, we want to do a bit of a join to it. So the airport to our position is there, LFKC. But because we want to aim for runway 18, we're going to fly up and intercept this slightly off at an angle. So we're able to actually intercept it, then turn to the south. Because if we fly directly to the airport, we're going to be too close to that runway. We haven't a bull's notion of dropping our altitude and actually getting into position, right? And it's one of the things that catch out a lot of pilots, especially new pilots starting out in the sim. They're not giving themselves sufficient space to land. Chopper pilots have this problem all the time in flight sims. You know, they see a spot and say, right, I'm going for that, and they rush themselves to get to that location. They usually end up having a bit of a bad day because it's, you know, heavy landing. Always give yourselves loads of time, loads of space, loads of time. You have the fuel for it, right? So always give yourself as much space and time as possible. Do you know? Scott says, believe it or not, aviation government folks are talking about going to a different system due to the use of GPS for just about everything to do away with the magnetic heading method and use true heading. This would stop runway number changes. Will they go with true really? Would they go with true heading? If they go with true heading, that will absolutely put would it put more of a workload on a pilot, or would it actually reduce the workload of a pilot? That's interesting, Scott. It would reduce it because now they're not worrying about... Wait now, if that's the case then, Scott, like, would that mean the likes of gyro drift with instruments and all this kind of be negated? Because they're not worried now about sinking a magnetic heading, right? It just goes with the GPS shows. Yeah, that is interesting, man. Jeez. Right, we need to descend here like a pack of mad jokes. So we're currently at 5. We're going to drop this guy all the way down. Let's call it 2000. Now, once again, we can go IAS mode. We're going to call it 140 knots. Watch this. I'm going to increase 140 knots. And if I drop our power, the nose will drop. Now, it'll go quite aggressive and then it'll ease off a little bit because the aircraft is now going to do its best to maintain 140 knots based on the power setting that I have. So once it hits 140, it's going to nose up. So there's the nose starting to come up because it's going too fast, right? So see the way now it's adjusted our vertical speed, 28, 27, and it's holding on to that 140 speed. IAS is a tremendous aid in your autopilot if you don't have things like auto throttle and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? IAS is brilliant for both climbing and ascending. So 140, we can probably go more if we want. 140 is enough. The good thing about this airplane, the flaps and the landing gear have so much drag on the airframe. This thing will slow down in no length at all. Man alive, look at the views here. Canada has so many renumbering of runways that they may have gone to numbering the runways based on true north. Our ears would hurt. Yeah, I mean, 2,000 feet is all right, but certainly if you drop down to if you increase your vertical speed any more than about, I think it's like 2,700 feet per minute. Depending on the aircraft, of course, if it's pressurized, of course, all these things. But you definitely feel 2,000 feet a minute. Your ears start popping at about 2,500 feet. Cyrus T, good to see you, buddy. Great plane, this. Dude, it's one of my favorites. It's a gorgeous aircraft. Autopilot off. Now, let's have a look at that runway. Are we lining up nicely yet? Not just yet. Cyrus, this airplane, it's on sale right now. You can pick it up for €12.70. That, lads, is a steal. Hey, B. Carlos here. Good to see you. All right, nice. You have it? Perfect. Yeah, it's a great plane. It's ideal for VF4 and IF4. And the view is just... it's like unrestricted view. It's incredible. And it's a very capable nighttime flyer as well. Alright, easy does. The speed is coming down now. We're holding at around 140. Probably a little bit too fast to drop the gear just yet. So we'll just ease off the speed. There's 130. About 125 or so would be grand. It's a different kind of flying altogether. Now look at the speed drop of the gear, right? Gear coming down. I haven't touched the power. And look at the speed drop now, look. Easy now. See that purple line? Landing lights on. Like, the drag is just incredible. Go for a notch of flaps here. More drag in the aircraft. Nose trying to go up. Second notch of flaps. Look at the speed bleed off. Isn't that amazing? Alright. Ease our way into this one. Okay, gear down, prop full. Flaps are set. This is our second last landing of tonight, lads. We have one more landing left. Back at where we started earlier on this evening, back to Ajaccio, which is about 40 nautical miles, the longest leg. Where's Gibbo? I'd say Gibbo is in the pub, or he's washing his hair, or he's washing his hair in the pub. Easy now. Alright, speed's looking good. Power setting's looking good. Ace Airstream, double Corsica dose this evening. Earlier I happened to watch a travel vlog in a series exploring the island, and their footage is even more spectacular. Oh, I could imagine. Yeah. Like, the sim does a great job. I mean, there's so many places I've visited in the sim, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta see this place in the real world. Alright, watch the power, hold the nose, there's the flare. Easy. Little touch, little bounce, in fact. Nose gear down. Keep it on the centre line. Man, we got so many awesome planes here. Look at this. Yes, there's a Sky Raider, is it? It is. Look at the size of that. Oh, they need to fix the LOD in multiplayer. Oh, Jesus. Look at that thing. Look at the size of that plane. Frightening, isn't it? Look at this. Look at the scale of it. Mahusive. Alright, got ourselves turned around. Alright. It is not small, it's massive. The A1 Sky Raider, it's friggin' huge. But like, wasn't that like the absolute pinnacle of propeller driven military combat aircraft? Well, combat aircraft, right? After that thing, you had the jets. That was the end of the props, really. I mean, the Sky Raider, she saw a lot of action in Vietnam, right? Attack aircraft. Good man, Scott. Attack aircraft. It was the last. Yeah, I think so, right? Absolutely gorgeous. Right, let us have a look at this. Our course is going to be due south. A heading of 176 degrees, 36 nautical miles as we head back to Ajaccio. So we're going to put our heading to heading. Checked our fuel is good. Flaps. One notch of flaps. Used in Vietnam for close air support. Last prop fighters with the likes of the Hawker Sea Fury. Ah. Not the last prop, but the... Oh, you got that wrong, Murph. Jesus. Do you know what happened there? Me trim is off. That's why she nosed up. It's a big hill in front of us. It is. It is. Oopsie daisy. Not the last prop, but the last piston plane. Yes, good man, actually, Super Tie. That is correct. Propeller aircraft continued on for many, many years. Even to this day, there's still propeller aircraft used as attack aircraft. I mean, I know the Texans are used quite a lot for training. PC-7s, PC-9s, PC-21s. Alright, we're looking good. Decent climb out there. I didn't have my trim set correctly. That's why it got a little bit interesting. Now, we need to be very, very careful here. Autopilot's on. We won't go vertical speed. We'll go IAS mode. Climb us up here to 3,000 feet. We're going to need more, but I'm thinking we can go playing in the mountains here on our last hurrah here, right? So let's go up to 3,000. Climbing nicely. We'll figure our way around. Oh, the Bronco, of course. Tucano as well. Yeah. Great aircraft. Alright, engine's giving out to me. Easy now. Alright, we'll do a bit of exploring over this neck of the woods, lads. What do you reckon? Beautiful. Gotta say, Corsica, this has been absolutely gorgeous. And as this series continues, I mean, we go to France, we go to Italy, we go to Russia, we go to Spain, we go to Egypt. We got a lot of great scenery ahead of us on this one. Really? I got a couple of MiG kills in Vietnam? No way. RNP approach into Ajaccio. Real fun in an airliner. Ooh. We're going to see what we can do here because we need to climb and there's a big massive mountain gadget ahead of us. So let's see if we can get to 3,000, pick up some speed and then get over the next bit of a hill here and, you know, play it by ear and see what happens. We could be lucky or, you know, not lucky at all. Wrong button, Murphy. Jesus. You had one job. There she goes. Patrick, take it fierce handy, buddy. We'll see you next time. All right, 2,700 feet. We're going to start a bit of a turn to the right here. Try and get as much space as we can. Get that speed right up there. We're now at 3,000. This is all about gaining altitude. Well, speed first. We're at 130. Increase manifold pressure. And in theory, we're just going to slope our way over the mountain ahead of us. And this time, hopefully, not run out of steam. Easy. Easy. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Easy. Jesus, we're going to scrape it. Jesus. You'll be over it. That was close. But look at the view. It was worth it. Absolutely worth it. Gorgeous. And there's a big mountain, Murph. Jesus, isn't it just as well the song ended when it did? 777, good to see you. Sorry, Hermit, we'll turn it down. Right, easy now. We're not far to go, lads. We're within 20 miles. I've been so impressed with flying in Corsica. This has been absolutely gorgeous tonight, hasn't it? Gorgeous. Man, look at the details in 2024. Like, isn't it unbelievable? Look at the state of that. Absolutely stunning. Great for fixed wing, but also great for rotaries as well, right? A chopper out here would be fantastic. Right, easy now. A few more tunes as we bring it in for a full stop landing back at Ajaccio. It's gorgeous. Terrain at 160, Cyan. I think it's about 160. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Wicked Lumberjacks, happy Monday. Hope you're well, my guy. Hot Dog says, I think I need to bump my terrain up a bit. I thought mine looked great until I looked at this. Yeah, hang on. What is my terrain at? Global rendering. Terrain is 235. Right, it's up there, all right. 235 is the terrain, and objects are 145. But like, I frame gen on, so like, I mean, it's behaving. And like, things are only going to get better with Sim Update 4, right? It's going to get a lot better with Sim Update 4. Why is that camera always going to skew me? Over there you did with it. There we go. So they say. Yeah, very true. Well, I'm hoping that they do. 235 because of your birthday. There you go, Super Tie. There's method to me madness. Do you know what I mean? What about now? We're at about 5,000 feet in the clouds. I'm not using auto FPS, no. The beta has been much better for performance, says Sean. Nice. Yeah, much better for performance. I'm hearing that quite a lot. And also, it's more visually stunning, especially night lighting. But this so far, this has been gorgeous, man. This has been a absolutely stunning flight here in Corsica. We are now just 15 miles away from our final stop for tonight. And yeah, I mean, like, look, for our Monday night series, we've done a lot, right? Over the years, we've done an absolute load of our Monday night series. I mean, you know, the world wonders, natural world wonders, ancient world wonders, you know, Hannibal, the Gallic Wars, India, Vietnam, Like, we've done some absolute crackers over the years, and it's just great. Like, I mean, for any of these Monday night series that we do, like, they're not all based on history. Like, don't get me wrong, right? We do other bits as well. We've done rivers, famous railroads, volcanoes, you know, the coffee adventure, you know, Colombia and Costa Rican places. I definitely love doing the history stuff because, well, I love history, right? But there's still an awful lot more to be planned, and that's the great thing about this sim. You can explore literally anywhere in the world. Like, one of the Monday night series this year I thought was like some of the best scenery I've ever seen, and that was the Aleutian Islands. Like, that was absolutely incredible when it came to scenery. The Aleutian Islands was just out of this world gorgeous. Do you know? Mag, yeah, it looks gorgeous, man. This is Corsica. It's freaking gorgeous. Now, okay, grand caveat. I am using, which might make a little difference. This is the sim in its default state, and I use a little bit of reshade. So that's default, which is nice. But I think the reshade that I use just kind of bumps it up a bit. Yeah, Alaska was great. Like, the first kind of major series we did in 2024 was the you know, from Chicago, I think, or from Boston, was it, over to Seattle. We did that over a couple of days. Antarctica, Rave, yeah, I hear you. It's just not fully ready yet. There's certainly parts with Antarctica that look really, really good, and shout out to Innybills, they did an incredible job popping up that little airfield there. But a lot of it, there's nothing there, you know. Around the fringes of it are quite good, but there's not much there at all, you know. Like, next week, the terrain in and around Autun and Brienne, that's south of Paris, there's not a lot there either, but it's, you know, this week the scenery has 100% being what's on the ground. Next week it's going to be you know, a mix of the ground but also the air. We're going to be flying in snow conditions, and clouds are definitely going to have an impact on our aircraft, definitely. But we'll have, you know, the usual crack as well. Egypt again, you know, Spain, Italy, flying around Milan. It's stunning. Ozflight Simmers here. Good to see you, man. A very happy Tuesday to you. Hope you're well, buddy. We're here in Corsica. Look at this, man. Dude, do you own the Gabriel? This is from Flying Fries. It's a 2020 aircraft. Works just fine in 24. Currently on sale for €12.70, which is incredible. Captain Kenobi is here. Bonsoir, monsieur. Hope you are well. Learning all about Napoleon Bonaparte this evening. You're most welcome in, lads. Great to see you. Local Aviator is here. Good to see you. Where all you lads come from? They were hiding somewhere. You're very welcome in. Island hopping in the Caribbean. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we have some really nice scenery here this evening. It's stunning. Absolutely stunning. So we're about to plan for our arrival back into Ajaccio. Antarctica, it's no joke. Jeez, brutal. But even Ireland in the same, and Australia in the same, France in the same. Like, there's some beautiful places. And I suppose the beauty of our Monday night series, almost every series we do, the sim, of course, is maturing, it's progressing, and the visual fidelity is becoming unbelievably good, you know? Scratching for pennies in very long pockets. If there's an aircraft that I would recommend for training, VF4, IF4, it can do it all, because of the visibility in this thing. It looks like it's a friggin' fighter, but it's a general aviation aircraft. I mean, you know, 140, 150 knots max, ceiling of about 11,500. It's quite a calm aircraft, but it's, for the price, feature rich. Right, ease off the power. On our approach coming in, this is our final stop of the night into Ajaccio, the birthplace of Napoleon. Speed coming down. Gear. Nice to be having you. Me sliding arms on me chair keeps moving. Massive free update coming soon. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, 100% Captain Kenobi. The golden age of ballooning. But you know what we're going to be doing at the end of this series? Oh, there is a balloon. At the end of this series, in 10 weeks' time, that's 2.5 months away, we're going to be flying the first time I've ever flown in an airship. I've to learn how to fly an airship, that'll tell you. Haven't a clue how to use it yet, but we'll figure it all out, lads, you know. Oh, go handy. Gee, bumpy. 'Tis bumpy. Any lights? Right. Similar to the aircraft you fly in real life. This is awesome because it's tandem. So your instructor will be behind you. So if you do anything wrong, he'd literally slap you in the back of the head. Alright, power out. There is our touchdown zone. Hold the nose, bleed off the speed. And we'll probably get to a gentle stall warning just before we touch down. Easy. Easy. We felt that, Needram. Alright, onto the nose gear. Sounded an awful lot worse than I wanted it to. Flaps in. Tiny bit of manual braking. Get the speed down. And we'll park this one up. Your autopilot packed up. Your turn to taste Corsican rocks. Yep, enjoy it. They're really nice and crunchy. Alright, we can exit off here on the left. Easy now. Lazy pilot, these are all default scenery. It's all default scenery. Can't believe we have a hot air balloon. Who's in that? Is it Krabby, is it? I don't know who's in the hot air balloon. Easy now, Jemima. Alrighty, park and brake engaged. Come on down here to the landing lights. Go ahead, turn them off. Auxiliary fuel pump, bring it off. Avionics can now come off. We'll go ahead and get rid of our pitot heat strobes. And what else do you want here? Fuel is okay. Mags coming off, 1 and 2. And we'll go feather and mixture. Up for the engine. Unlock the canopy. Open the canopy. Gorgeous. And let's appear some stairs here as well to get us out the aircraft. So, friends, what a start to a brand new Monday night series. This has been an absolute load of fun. The scenery tonight has been incredible. A great aircraft and made only better by all you guys joining us for the flight as well. It was insanely good. And such a beautiful selection of aircraft. Vision jets, M500s, friggin' Sky Raiders, Bonanzas, Chancellors, and of course the Gabriels as well. Absolutely gorgeous. Barons are there. An absolute barrel load of different aircraft. It is stunning. So we also have the Navion here as well. Beautiful. So welcome to, and we'll also say farewell to Ajaccio, the birthplace of Napoleon Bonaparte. And what we're going to go into next week is when Napoleon and Joseph go to, or Joseph, they go to Autun to work on their French. And then Napoleon goes on then up to the Brienne Military Academy. And it's next week is just kind of the last kind of prelude into Napoleon as you would expect him. The military genius that was, the artilleryman that progressed from the low commissioned ranks, lieutenant, all the way up, all the way. You didn't go any higher. So considering the fact, what we've learned tonight about Napoleon, his upbringing, what was going on in Corsica at the time with, Genoa selling Corsica 18 months before Napoleon was born to the French putting in 30,000 troops here. Civil war broke out, and Napoleon's father, Carlos, he was the dreamer. He knew what was going to happen. He could stay on as being a freedom fighter and die as a martyr to his cause, or he would stay to provide for his family. He stayed and provided for his family. So the idea behind it is Napoleon had, he's had all of this at such a young age. He pretty much started off at the very, very bottom. Not born into nobility at all. That only happened when he was like 5 or 6 years of age. The man went on to be emperor from absolutely nowhere and a no one to the man, that guy, But yeah, absolutely crazy. Looking forward to the series. Thank you very much indeed. Where is this now? Is that a short joke? Wait, Colonel Indiana, whose joke? Napoleon Dynamite. Gosh, that's a great movie. Have you ever watched it? Napoleon Dynamite is brilliant. Oh, yeah. But anyway, lads, this is the start of our new 10-part series. Part 1 just complete in Corsica. Next week, we are up to the mainland in France. We're going to be flying in the Carinado Centurion aircraft. And each and every week, we continue on with this series. It's a 10-part special. It'll bring us up to the end of January, right? And each and every week, we'll cover the story, the rise and fall of Napoleon, and we'll also link it back in to aviation as well, flying different aircraft, different sceneries, different locations, and also different flying skills and requirements, if you like, for each and every stream. So that's the story now, right? I'm off to do more painting. We're back tomorrow night, 2000 Zulu. We're going to be doing some European Truck Sim, Euro Truck Sim 2, and we're going for a drive in the Nordics. Ooh, we're going to start off in Sweden to see Helga and see what the crack is, and then on Wednesday we're busy with the news. Thursday a day of flying, and then Friday night Ecuador in a C-160. So it's a jam-packed week. I want to thank you all so very much indeed for joining us. We'll see you over on Discord, !Discord. That's where we'll be hanging out until our next stream. But until then, thank you all so very much indeed, and au revoir. Ready for this to give up? I'm a little teapot, short
Dreamy, sleepy,
and
nighty,
stout.
snoozy, snooze.
Here is me handle, and here is me spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Just tip me over and pour me out. Ah, Jesus!
Oh, stop.
You see? But the mod control, from a viewer perspective, it makes the whole thing quite negative, doesn't it? When you delete, you're sitting there and you're thinking, Jesus, this is painful to watch. This is like watching the end of Glen Rowe or... She looks like your man. Oh no, it's a him. Oh Jesus. It looked like your one, Katie Taylor. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a great fight, and then I boxed the head off him. Brilliant. Holy crap. Holy crap. We're going in, that's it. There's no turning back at this stage. Jesus, mind the bears.
Look at this big Aegis.
Oh no, we're into dying. Quick, get out. Oh no, we're Jesus. Ouch. Ooh. You didn't use the indicators. Electricity must be expensive in your truck, is it? Christ! Oh no, a terrible accident! Jesus! Did you jump? Oh, I nearly passed out of the laughter. Did you just see what happened? Jesus! Intubated, reversers, flaps in. Get out of